Today we're going to be replacing the rear speakers in this 2009 Nissan Sentra. Now this process should be the same all the way from 2007 all the way up to 2012 model vehicles in this Sentra. So let's go ahead and get started. What we're going to be replacing them with is these speakers from JVC. It's probably about the cheapest you can get off Amazon, but they're going to be certainly better than what we have right now, which are a little bit broken. So let's go ahead and replace them. The first thing we're going to be doing is prying these seats forward. So for this seat, it just kind of pops forward like that. But I wanted to show you something right here. Go ahead and get a close-up of this. If this is in focus, we're going to make sure this is popped up, this plastic piece here. So we can pop down that pop at the bottom first, and then move on to this section and pop it up. Now this is going to fall all the way along this seat right here. Get the seat belt, and we can pop this seat forward and now start pulling out to get the plastic away from the vehicle here. There we go. Alright, so now these pieces come out like that. And what that does, exposes this area here. We can now get this panel piece off as well as this one up here. So what we're going to go ahead and do is start working on the other side, and I'll get started on that. All right, we're here on the other side, so we're going to pop this plastic piece up. Now for this seat portion, you're going to lift up a little bit and then pull out, okay? And you can start pulling up and out of these plastics here. And this plastic you can lift up, get this popped off first, and then you can pull the seat forward. Once the seat is forward, you can then pull out. Alright. Pull out. Get this piece. Pull it out. There you go. And you can see how these pull straight out from these vehicles, which these are the attachment points here. Next, we're going to go ahead and pull back this weather stripping seal just a little bit to expose this piece right here. And we're going to pull straight out in that direction to get this guy to pop out. And of course, it's going to be a bugger. There we go. There we go. Got that piece out. You see that? And what that does is it's going to allow this whole panel right here to get out. So now we'll go to the other side. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and pull the weather stripping back. Here we go, expose that. And pull this guy, there we go. Push more right there. Okay, there we go, pull that. You can go ahead and expose that whole area right there. So now, what we're going to do is, there's these little plastic pins right here all along this panel. We're going to pull on this panel right at these pinpoints, and that's going to pop these pins up, the plastic pop pins. There you go. Make sure you save these. Look at those. All right, so we're going to go ahead and do it all along the side here. There we go. All right, so got all four of those pins. Now we're going to go underneath into the trunk space and get some more pieces. All right, next there's these white clips here. You can see them all around the back area here, and those are holding that top portion down. So what you can use is a pair of needle nose pliers, and you're going to pinch them, and you're going to push up. And pushing up on this is going to help pop that up and out, and will allow that whole segment to be removed. So you can go ahead and do that for all of these white clips. And then once all of these clips are pushed in, let's see that popped in there. Once they're all done, then we can go ahead and remove that top piece. Okay, so we went ahead and we can pop this up. So now we can move this whole piece forward. And you're gonna have to really pull up on this guy to get it forward. Now, careful with this because this is still connected to a little piece back here for the wiring harness for the third brake light. So we're gonna have to pull up on this. You push in here and pull back, and you can expose this wiring harness that's right here. Can you see that? So this wiring harness pops up. So we can go ahead and remove that, which is by depressing this piece here, by depressing a piece there and popping it out. So we'll go ahead and get this off, and then we'll show you the top here. All right, here now we have the speaker. We're gonna go ahead and unscrew all of these little screws right here, and this is gonna be a T20 Torx bit. And so we're gonna go ahead and get all of these guys out. And so if you have like an electric ratchet, that'll help out, or if you have a stubby tool that can help you. But this is a little bit of a tight area, but I already got one of them out. We're gonna go ahead and take out the rest of these screws with the T20 Torx bit, and we'll come right back. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and remove the speaker after we've taken out all 4 screws. And there's a little bit of RTV liner that is put in there for kind of a gasket between the metal and metal. But we can go ahead and pry up, and that should free the speaker. All right, just go slowly and pull up on it. All right, so we got the speaker free. Now there's this wiring harness right here, and you may be able to see this little clip right here. You're gonna depress that and pull out at the same time, and your speaker is free. Okay, these are the speakers that we went ahead and pulled out of the Nissan Sentra. And you can see here that it's just kind of got this foam cone in here that's kind of like the deflector. And so what happens is once these things pop off, these things rattle in here once you start having this applying noise to it. So this thing's moving up and down and rattling this cone. So that's kind of why I knew that this thing needed to be replaced. It hasn't blown out on the outer edge. So if you could just remove this, and that could work for you a little bit, but I recommend replacing it. But comparing it, here we flip this guy over. So on this side, you can see that this is a complete, fabric. It's nice and supple. It's also got the mid-range and high-range speaker noise, so it's much better. But if you look at the overall wattage rating here, is that this is a 400 watt rated and this is a 20 watt rated, but this is more so a working rating of 45 watts as opposed to the 20 watts. So this can handle a lot more power to it. And the magnet, you can definitely tell it's a little bit heavier, a little bit larger, better quality overall. This comes with your clip-on lead ends, and now you're supposed to get a wiring harness in order to clip it to this factory wiring harness output here. But I just went ahead and I'm going to be splicing my wires in directly. So we're going to go ahead and put these in next. Once you're ready, you're going to drop in your new speakers into place. And make sure that this wiring harness is down inside of there before you go ahead and rest this in there. And just be careful. Drop it in straight. Alright. That 6x9 speaker should just fit right into place. Alright. Next we're going to go ahead and connect the wiring down below, and then we'll secure it on top of the screws. Alright, we're here with underneath the speaker inside the trunk. And so this is, if you were a professional, you'd have a wiring harness you can hook up to that. And I'll put the link to the professional wiring harness down below, but this is what you're gonna have right here. And for me, I'm too cheap, so I'm gonna go ahead and snip it. All right, and what you have is you have a negative and you have a positive. All right, you got a solid wire, and then you got a striped wire. And likewise on here, you have a solid white and a striped. And so the stripes go together and the solids go together. So you're going to be putting those together, strip them, and then over here I got one that's almost all the way finished, if you look over here. And so I went ahead and put a wire nut on each of those. Some people like to solder them together to get a really good electrical connection, but honestly this is just good enough. So we're going to go ahead and make sure we cap all these off with the wiring nuts, and then we'll go ahead and screw the speakers down from top. Alright, the last thing we got to do is go ahead and screw this in place. Now you're going to want to make sure you get everything nice and tight. And when you snug it down, you're going to see that metal cinch down to the metal. So don't skimp on your torque, but don't over torque it because you don't want to wreck this thing. So go ahead and get everything cinched down. You should be good to go. Alright, the last process here is going to be just go ahead and screwing in these T20 torque screws down in. Now, this part, you want to make sure you get enough torque, because this is what's going to seat the metal frame of the actual speaker onto the metal of the trunk space here. And so this is a part where you're not going to want to skip out on any torque, but don't over torque it because you don't want to strip it out. So make sure everything is nice and snug and you should be good to go. Now, if you guys have any questions about this install, go ahead and put down in the comment section below. I'll go ahead and have a link to everything I used today if you wanted to purchase any of these products. But when you put everything back together, just do the reverse order. And if you guys could, go ahead and hit like, subscribe. It helps me out as a channel. Thank you.